But recently, that obsession with Trump has backfired on CNN's professional, Fox stalker Humpty Dumpty because, Tucker just played it before. We won't play it again. Here with reactions, someone who recently confronted fake news CNN head-on, Florida Congressman Byron Donalds, along with nationally syndicated radio host Dana Loesch. Good to see you both. Byron, let's talk about this with you. Now, there's a group in Congress. It's called the Congressional Black Caucus, the CBC. You wanted to be a member. Okay, you're African-American. You were denied membership. Is it now the Congressional Liberal Black Caucus? Were you denied just because of your political views?
That's the way it appears to me, but it's bigger than that. I think with respect to the CBC, if you're going to have a caucus dealing with black members and you want to talk about the issues facing black America, then have all political viewpoints at the table. It doesn't matter if you're a liberal or a conservative. Black people in America should be able to have that conversation. But it speaks to a larger point. We're having a situation, especially in our media, where they don't want to have a full conversation. They want to talk to their group. They want to have a conversation focused on their ideology, but that doesn't work for America. It's definitely not going to work for Congress.
Dana, we talked a lot about the riots last summer, and they were riots. Bricks, rocks, bottles, Molotov cocktails, arson, burning down police precincts, taking over city streets. Democrats denied and wouldn't call them riots. They didn't even mention it at the DNC. They barely ever talked about it. Now, we also spoke out. January 6th can't happen. I don't care what your politics are. We've got to protect our institutions, and we've got to protect every politician. I don't care whether it's an R or a D or an independent. You've got to protect everybody. They represent us, we the people. We were consistent. They weren't. And look at this. Now prosecution for one and not the other. Your thoughts?
No, I think you're exactly right, Sean. We've always been incredibly consistent in that any kind of violent physical reaction or arson or assault, that's not a protected form of speech. And isn't that all the stuff that they said that the Tea Party was, by the way, that the Tea Party never did? But to your larger point there's a huge difference in the way that media and Democrats have treated the year-long, the summer-long riots and arson and I mean, entire city blocks burn. I mean, you had people who claimed that they were standing up for Black lives, but yet you had Black-owned businesses that were burning, or people who claimed that they were standing up for law and order who were literally engaging in massive violent lawlessness. And there were some Democrats who said that this didn't even exist. They didn't even talk about it. They just said that it was an idea. It wasn't something that even existed. And then, of course, trying to compare this to January 6th. Look, we've always said, as I just mentioned, that all of that stuff, violence, et cetera, is not a protected form of speech. But are we seriously going to act like, some gravy seals marching up into the Capitol, like acting like Red Dawn LARPers and just trespassing, that's the same thing as a serious crime? I mean, look, investigate. I know the DOJ is investigating. I know that Congress is investigating. I know that the FBI is involved. That's fine. But what about, again, St. Louis when St. Louis burned? Or what about in Wisconsin or Portland or Seattle? It's not the same. Sean, last point, the entire point of our republic is that everyone is equal before the law and everyone is equal beneath it when it's broken. But that's not the case anymore.
It was sad, Byron. I only have less than 30 seconds. When I had Horace Lorenzo Anderson Sr., I was the first person in the media to call him, the first politician to call him. He lost his son in the Chop Chaz Summer Love Zone. No, I don't know any Democrat that bothered to care. I thought all lives matter here. Last word.
Listen, first, all lives do matter. The second thing is that we need media to just be consistent. Have the same level of principle for everybody. Don't be subjective. Be objective. That's what Americans need today.
Congressman, thank you. And I hope they reverse their decision. Dana, great analysis. Thank you.